You probably heard it before. Men want peace. They don't want stress. They don't want drama. And they definitely don't want to feel like they're constantly at war in their own home. But what does it really mean to be a man's peace? And no, I'm not talking about losing yourself or bending over backward to keep a man happy. I'm talking about real, healthy, reciprocal energy that makes a man want to be with you, cherish you, and protect you. So today, I'm giving you 7 things that work every time. A man faces countless battles every day, from work stress to societal pressures, and even his own internal struggles. The world expects him to be strong, to have it all together, and to never show weakness. But beneath that exterior, every man has fears, doubts, and moments of uncertainty. What he truly desires, whether he admits it or not, is a place where he can put his guard down, where he doesn't have to constantly be in defense mode. When a man sees a woman as his safe space, it means he trusts her with the side of himself that the world doesn't get to see. He wants to know that he can come to her without being criticized, belittled, or made to feel like less of a man. This doesn't mean he will always be perfect or that he won't make mistakes. It means that in his moments of weakness, he won't be met with judgment, but with understanding. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is using a man's vulnerabilities against him. When he confides in you about something personal, whether it's a fear, a past trauma, or a difficult situation he's facing, it's not ammunition to be thrown back at him during an argument. The moment a man feels like opening up to you is a risk, he will start shutting down. And once he shuts down, rebuilding that trust is almost impossible. Being his safe space doesn't mean ignoring issues or walking on eggshells. It means creating an environment where he feels secure enough to communicate openly. It's about listening with patience instead of reacting impulsively. It's about recognizing when he needs support, even when he doesn't say it outright. Sometimes it's as simple as sitting with him in silence, letting him process things in his own time, and reassuring him that you're there. Men often struggle with expressing emotions because they've been conditioned to believe that showing feelings is a sign of weakness. When a man feels emotionally safe with a woman, he will naturally be more present, more connected, and more invested in the relationship. His peace isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about knowing that even in conflict, he won't be attacked, dismissed, or made to feel like his emotions don't matter. Respect is one of the most important elements of a healthy relationship, especially for a man. More than love, more than attraction, a man needs to feel respected by the woman he's with. It's not just about how you treat him in good times, but how you handle disagreements, conflicts, and challenges. The way a woman speaks to a man, especially when emotions are high, can either build him up or tear him down. Men are wired to seek respect in the same way that women seek love and emotional security. When a man feels disrespected, it doesn't just hurt his ego, it affects his entire connection to the relationship. Disrespect can show up in different ways, from dismissing his opinions to belittling his efforts, making decisions without considering his input, or speaking to him in a harsh or condescending tone. Even small things like rolling your eyes, talking over him, or disregarding his feelings can create a silent disconnect that grows over time. Disagreements are natural in any relationship, but it's how they are handled that matters. When emotions run high, it's easy to speak out of frustration and say things that can't be taken back. But a man will always remember how you made him feel in those moments. If he constantly feels like he has to defend himself against criticism, accusations, or dismissiveness, he will start to shut down emotionally. And when a man shuts down, he doesn't just stop talking, stops trying. Respect doesn't mean agreeing with everything he says or never expressing your own thoughts. It means communicating in a way that allows both of you to be heard without tearing each other down. It's the ability to challenge him without making him feel small, to express your concerns without attacking his character. A man needs to feel like his voice matters, that his opinions are valued, and that he is seen as capable and competent in his relationship. Public disrespect is even worse. A man who feels humiliated, mocked, or undermined in front of others will begin to emotionally withdraw. He wants to know that no matter what happens, the woman he loves has his back. Even in private, speaking to him with kindness, patience, and understanding makes all the difference. It's not about suppressing emotions, but about choosing to communicate in a way that strengthens the relationship instead of creating distance. Feminine energy is one of the most powerful things a woman can bring into a relationship. It's not about weakness or submission, it's about balance. A man who is naturally in his masculine energy is drawn to a woman who knows how to embrace her feminine side. This doesn't mean suppressing your strength, independence, or ambition. It means understanding the power of softness, warmth, and receptivity. Many women today have had to operate in survival mode, constantly pushing, leading, and making things happen on their own. While this strength is necessary in certain areas of life, it can sometimes create a dynamic where the relationship feels more like competition than connection. A man doesn't want to feel like he's in a constant battle for control or that he has to prove himself against the woman he loves. He wants to feel like he has a partner who allows him to lead while still valuing her own voice and presence. Feminine energy is about flow, not force. It's about knowing when to take charge and when to lean back, when to speak and when to listen. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you respond instead of react, and the way you create an environment that feels like peace instead of pressure. A woman who embodies this energy makes a man feel safe, appreciated, and deeply connected. Men are naturally drawn to softness, not just physical softness, but emotional softness. A gentle touch, a kind word, a supportive presence, these things have the ability to calm a man's mind in a way that nothing else can. When a woman is constantly in a state of tension, stress, or aggression, it creates an atmosphere that feels heavy and unwelcoming. A man wants to feel like he can exhale when he's with you, that he doesn't have to brace himself for conflict or constantly prove his worth. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means expressing emotions in a way that invites connection rather than conflict. Instead of demanding or controlling, it's about communicating desires in a way that makes a man want to step up, protect, and provide. Feminine energy is about grace, confidence, and an understanding that true power doesn't come from force, it comes from presence. When a woman taps into that energy, she doesn't have to chase a man or force a connection. She naturally attracts the kind of love that feels effortless, fulfilling, and deeply rewarding. A relationship thrives when both people pour into each other. Too often the focus is on what a man should do, how he should provide, and how he should prove his love. But a healthy relationship isn't just about what he gives, it's also about what he receives. A man wants to feel valued, appreciated, and supported just as much as a woman does. If he's constantly giving without being poured into, he will eventually feel drained, unappreciated, and disconnected. Men may not always express their emotional needs as openly as women do, but that doesn't mean they don't have them. A man wants to feel like his efforts are recognized, that the energy he puts into the relationship is met with gratitude and care. Simple things like acknowledging his hard work, complimenting him, and expressing appreciation go a long way. It's easy to focus on what he isn't doing, but shifting that focus to what he is doing can make a huge difference in how he shows up for you. Encouragement is one of the most powerful ways to pour into a man. He faces pressures from the outside world that he may never fully talk about, and sometimes all he needs is for the woman he loves to believe in him. When a woman speaks life into a man, he feels unstoppable. A simple, "I believe in you," "I appreciate you," or "I'm proud of you" can give him the motivation to push through challenges and show up even stronger. Support isn't just about words. It's also about actions. Being his peace means standing by him, showing up when he needs you, and creating a space where he feels understood. This doesn't mean fixing all his problems or carrying his burdens. It means letting him know that he's not alone. Whether it's helping him think through a tough decision, celebrating his wins, or simply being present when he's going through something, your support matters more than you realize. Pouring into a man also means nurturing the connection between you. Small gestures like making his favorite meal, remembering the little things he likes, or showing affection can deepen the emotional bond. Men may not always ask for these things, but they notice when they're missing. The effort you put into making him feel valued will always come back to you in the way he treats you, prioritizes you, and invests in the relationship. Men value peace, and nothing disrupts that more than constant drama. When a relationship feels like a battlefield, filled with unnecessary arguments, emotional outbursts, and tension, a man will eventually shut down or withdraw. No one wants to come home to a war zone, especially when the world already brings enough stress. A man seeks a woman who knows how to handle challenges with grace, maturity, and emotional intelligence. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or ignoring problems. It means learning how to communicate without turning every disagreement into a fight. There's a difference between expressing your feelings and creating unnecessary chaos. Many conflicts arise not because of what's being said, but how it's being said. A raised tone, a sarcastic comment, or dismissive body language can turn a small issue into a major argument. Being mindful of your approach can prevent a situation from escalating and keep the relationship in a space of mutual respect. Overreacting to minor inconveniences also creates an environment of instability. If every small issue turns into a dramatic situation, a man will start to feel like he has to walk on eggshells around you. He won't feel safe expressing himself because he won't know how you'll react. Emotional stability is attractive because it signals maturity and self-awareness. A man wants to know that his partner can handle challenges without losing control or making him the enemy. Jealousy, insecurity, and unnecessary accusations also create unwanted drama. If a man is constantly being questioned, doubted, or made to feel like he has to prove himself, the relationship becomes exhausting. Trust is essential. If you have concerns, it's important to bring them up in a way that invites resolution rather than confrontation. Instead of accusing, ask questions. Instead of assuming, seek clarity. The way you approach situations determines whether they bring you closer or push you apart. Another aspect of keeping drama to a minimum is knowing when to let things go. Not every issue needs to be dissected, analyzed, or turned into a long conversation. Some things are simply not worth the energy. Learning to pick your battles and focus on what truly matters will make the relationship feel lighter, more enjoyable, and free from unnecessary stress. A man who feels peace in his relationship will always be drawn closer to the woman who brings it, because peace is something he will never want to lose. A man is naturally wired to lead, but leadership isn't about control. It's about guidance, responsibility, and providing direction. When a man is in a relationship, he wants to feel trusted in his ability to lead, make decisions, and handle things without being constantly questioned or challenged. This doesn't mean a woman should be silent or have no say. A strong relationship is a partnership, not a dictatorship. However, there's a difference between being his partner and being his competitor. A man doesn't want to feel like he's in a power struggle with the woman he loves. If he constantly feels undermined, doubted, or challenged in a way that makes him question his role, he will either pull away emotionally or stop putting in the effort. Trusting his leadership doesn't mean agreeing with everything or following blindly. It means giving him the space to take initiative and showing confidence in his ability to handle things. When a woman constantly steps in, takes over, or questions every decision he makes, it sends the message that she doesn't trust him to be capable. Respecting his leadership also means allowing him to solve problems without unnecessary interference. Men are natural problem solvers. When they see an issue, their instinct is to fix it. If a woman constantly dismisses his solutions, insists on her own way, or criticizes his approach, he will eventually stop trying. Letting him lead means giving him the room to handle things in his own way, even if it's different from how you would do it. At the same time, being his partner means knowing when to offer your perspective without making him feel like you're taking over. A man values a woman who can provide insight, wisdom, and guidance, but in a way that still allows him to feel respected. The way you present your thoughts matters. Instead of demanding or correcting, offer suggestions in a way that invites discussion. Instead of making him feel like he's wrong, express your perspective in a way that shows you trust his ability to make the final decision. A man who feels supported in his leadership will naturally want to step up even more. He will take greater responsibility, make stronger efforts, and feel more motivated to provide and protect. When a woman embraces her role as his partner rather than his competitor, it creates a balance that strengthens the relationship and deepens the connection between them. Intimacy is the glue that keeps a relationship strong, and it goes far beyond just physical connection. A man desires to feel connected to his woman on multiple levels, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When intimacy starts to fade, so does the bond between a man and a woman. Keeping intimacy alive means being intentional about nurturing the relationship and maintaining that deep sense of closeness. Emotional intimacy is just as important as physical intimacy. A man wants to feel like he can open up without being judged, that his thoughts and feelings matter. When a woman listens to him, supports him, and makes him feel seen and heard, it strengthens their bond. Small moments of connection, whether it's laughing together, having deep conversations, or simply sitting in comfortable silence, help maintain the emotional foundation that keeps the relationship strong. Physical intimacy is another key part of a man's peace. For men, physical touch is not just about desire. It's also about feeling wanted, appreciated, and connected. Affection doesn't always have to lead to something more rich. Can be as simple as holding his hand, rubbing his back, or leaning into him while sitting together. These small gestures reassure him that he is desired and that the connection between you is still strong. When physical affection starts to fade, a man may start to feel distant or unimportant, even if everything else in the relationship seems fine. Keeping intimacy alive also means maintaining excitement and avoiding falling into a routine where everything feels predictable and repetitive. Spontaneity, small surprises, and making an effort to keep things fresh will keep the relationship from becoming stagnant. Men appreciate when a woman puts an effort, whether it's dressing up, planning a date, or simply showing that she still values the romantic aspect of the relationship. It doesn't have to be extravagant. What matters is the thought and effort behind it. Another part of intimacy is feeling emotionally safe. A man wants to know that he can be himself without being criticized or rejected. If he feels like he has to hold back, filter his words, or hide his true feelings, the connection will weaken over time. Creating a space where he feels comfortable, where he can laugh, relax, and be vulnerable without fear strengthens not only the romantic aspect of the relationship, but the foundation of trust and love that holds everything together. Being a man's peace isn't about losing yourself. It's about creating a space where both of you can thrive. It's about mutual love, mutual respect, and mutual effort. And when you master these 7 things, I promise you, your man will not only cherish you, he will go out of his way to protect, provide, and pour into you in return. Because a woman who is a man's peace, that's the kind of woman he never wants to lose.